Welcome back to BIM Talks, the show where digital models meet muddy boots. Today, we're stepping out of the office and onto the job site to explore how site teams are using BIM in the real world. From clash-free coordination to smoother handovers and fewer sleepless nights over rework. We are joined by a site superintendent who's been living this digital transformation firsthand. Let's uncover what's really working and what still needs fixing when it comes to bringing BIM from screen to site. Welcome on board. It's so great to have you today on the channel. So a quick introduction here. I have Orane Clark with me. He is a superintendent and a quality control manager with Kokolakis Contracting. So, Orane, tell me, how often... I'm sure you open your model before your first cup of coffee, don't you?
No, actually, I need the coffee to open the model because it's packed with so much information. The overload is just a lot. So I need that coffee first thing to get me going.
Don't be old. All right. Having said that, I really want to know the most chaotic and unexpected moment you faced on site that BIM could not have predicted for you.
That would have to be structural items. In my career using BIM, it's primarily focused on the MEP coordination. The structural usually is glanced over, like, okay, we need to make sure these two panels don't collide, and that's it. On a previous job, we had the precast and structural steel elements, which were 7 connecting points. And we noted an issue on the model. They corrected it. There were several shop drawings that went back and forth, confirming that it was corrected. And the day when the crane was on site to set the steel structure on the precast, one connection did not line up.
Oh, man.
It was off by 1.5 inches.
It seems quite small, but I'm sure that 1.5 inches was quite a fiasco, I'm sure.
It was a fiasco because you had this crane holding this massive steel structure over 200 feet in the air.
Oh,
and it was right next to the Asheville airport, so all eyes were on us. You got planes flying by, everybody's looking, and so we had to, I don't want to use the term jerry rig, but we had to fix something, hold it while the engineers worked. I think they spent like a month coming up with a proper fix to accommodate for the 1.5 inches difference. So it worked out in the end, and it was what it was, and that's a common term I find in this industry, where you can plan, coordinate, but sometimes when things still don't work out, you just say it is what it is, and you find a fix and you move on.
Yeah. So all eyes on you, center of all the chaos. Was it nerve-wracking?
Yes, it was. In that moment, you're like, oh gosh, what do we do? What do we do? But sometimes you just got to recenter yourself and like, all right, let's just think about it properly, make sure it's secure, make sure it's safe.
Yeah.
And you just revisit it at a later date.
Absolutely. So, Orane, tell me, you've been in the industry for long. When was the first time you heard about BIM, and what was your honest first impression?
First time I heard about BIM was 2008, 2009, while I was in college, and I was doing my AutoCAD elective, and the instructor briefly touched on 3D AutoCAD. And when I said briefly, he literally just showed us a model and said, this is the future. When you guys get there, you'll figure it out.
Yes.
Here we are, 2025, and more projects are requiring BIM as a staple to get things done, especially large projects, like the project that we are working on right now. You're familiar with the model. The mechanical room is like a rat's nest.
Yes.
So there's no way the old school thought of, hey guys, let's just put these conduits here and hope for the best would work out.
Yes.
So
oh yeah, absolutely.
It's making its way around, and I believe that when you compare the U.S. construction industry as opposed to the European construction industry, the U.S. tends to lag a little bit with adapting to the new methods, purely from a cost standpoint and getting the certified individuals to adapt and to enter into the system to make it feasible. So, like in our company, we don't have a dedicated BIM coordinator, so we reach out to companies like yours to facilitate that gap. But some larger companies, they want someone in house to be that BIM person. So, or electrical contractor, they have an in-house BIM person who, when issues come up in the field, they can look in the model right away and they can like, okay, yeah, we need to make this change. And then they can spit out a drawing in, say, 30, 45 minutes, and the guys will have it in the field. So it's getting there, but when you compare with other countries, other regions, I think it's lagging. But that's just my opinion.
So have we got the hang of BIM yet?
On a basic level, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
To this day, with the MEPs, the electrician, he often comes in my office and he's like, hey, can you pull up the BIM model? And I want to check this ductwork because I might have to tweak my pipes a half an inch or an inch. And I want to make sure nobody gets impacted. So it's getting there.
Yeah. So tell me.
And to even that note, the precast or precast contractor, they're here setting up, like I mentioned. They're super. He has a mobile version of BIM on his phone for his precast elements.
Right.
So we're getting into that now. It's on a mobile device, so it's more readily accessible, easy to use. So, we're headed in the right direction.
Yes. New technology excites, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
All right. So tell me, Orane, how did your team help you bridge the gap between from 2D and 3D coordination? You've been part of both.
2D take a lot of understanding of the blueprints and imagination to visualize what is being represented and the drawings.
Yes.
Being familiar with AutoCAD, it gives you somewhat of a background that you can when it's brought up, you can see it, and now it's easier. Like, okay, especially for ductwork. You saw, when you look on the 2D, all you're seeing are lines going crisscross, northwest, east, all over the place. The 3D brings it to life to make it make sense, So in that regard, just the different companies adapting to the different technologies is really the best way to help you. So it's more of a visual thing than.
So BIM models, Orane, are often this perfect world that we see in our coordination meetings or on site when, like you said, your contractors want to come and look at those models. Now, what's the biggest disconnect that you've seen between those BIM models and the actual site conditions?
I would say it's the minor details that no one truly pays attention to. An inch here, a half an inch here, some type of layer that's not highlighted on the model or extra details. So case in point, on our model, in the garage level, the ceiling has insulation and pipes above it, but the model doesn't show the insulation. So you're thinking, okay, we have all this room, but truly you don't. You still have to take out 3 inches, and you're thinking, oh, what's 3 inches, until the pipe goes in there and you're like, I need that 3 inches. So that's the situations, the small details that you think, okay, we'll figure it out when we get there. Those are the moments where you're like, aha.
Yes. Okay. So how do you communicate those field updates or changes back to the BIM team? Do they actually update those while construction or coordination, or post everything is done?
It's truly dependent on the company. And like I mentioned, most companies are gearing up to it. So you will have companies, for example, like my electrician, his team is on it. So if there's a change, a simple phone call, email, a picture of a napkin sketch drawing, and he'll get it updated. While some companies, they wait until the end, and their foreman, they do it old school. They mark up the drawings and they submit it, and the changes are recorded in the end. So it's a mix. But sometimes the old methods of a phone call, pictures,
Yeah.
it does wonders.
So I'm sure there's a lot of times while you're on site and all of this is happening. What kind of turnaround time do you expect when reporting issues? And does it usually meet the expectations, or is it actually on time?
Sometimes it depends on the changes. If it's something minor, then I've seen 2-day turnaround. But if it involves major changes that has a cost element to it, then that's when the delay comes in. Could be a week, could be 2 weeks. So it's a case by case basis, if you will.
How did you handle these changes when there was no BIM and it was just 2D drawings that we were working off of? These changes would have taken time to update.
Yes.
Or was it all field fix?
Most of it would be all field fix, and there's a hierarchy where if it's a light fixture, they move the light fixture wherever. But if it's a life safety element like fire sprinkler, then he takes precedence. If it's a ductwork that's 60 by 60 and he can't move it left or right, then he takes precedence. So that's how I've seen it done on past projects. And there's also a shift where shop drawings are becoming more critical for MEP stuff, like providing conduit routing and providing ductwork routing, fire sprinkler. When I just started back in 2010, the only sub that was required to provide shops were fire sprinkler, and because he had to get an engineer to provide signed and sealed shops. Everybody else, they kind of just follow the main intent of the drawing, from your electrical room to your distribution panels or sub rooms, and then they just figure, okay, we could conceal the routing in the ceiling or in the walls. That's what they did. Now it's becoming a requirement, especially on federal jobs. Municipalities, they want to see a physical document to hold so that if something needs to be fixed in the future, they have a reference point.
And everybody else just winged it back then.
Yes, I'm telling you,
Much.
there's been some sketchy moments where I'll be like, wow.
I would definitely like to know
and
those.
And when the engineers come and visit, they're like, yeah, that works. That works. Yeah.
But that wasn't my drawing.
Yeah, no, and we have had some of those conversations where they're like, that was not my drawing. But when they look at the lacking details on their drawing and how someone interpreted it, they're like, you know what? It works. We'll go with it. So
it really surprises me sometimes when now in coordination meetings, when you're really wanting them to change something, and it's just a headbanger and you can't get them to approve certain things. But when you actually do it on site and it works, is when they realize, oh yeah, we could have done it the easier way.
And that's where having the vision comes into play in construction.
Yes, absolutely.
People think it's all, it's black and white. No, there's a imaginary element where if you can't see it, you can't build it.
I agree.
And that happens a lot.
Oh yeah. So coming back to technology, which devices or apps do you rely on to view or navigate the model on site?
On site, for me, I'm not fully immersed in the BIM world 100%. So I stick to the old school method of my laptop. I believe it's more reliable. So AutoCAD Navisworks on the laptop, that works for me. Like I mentioned, or precast subcontractor, he introduced me to the mobile element. But I believe the mobile element is purely a quick reference.
Right.
It doesn't give you the accuracy of the computer generated model, if you will. And that's the other thing in our field, where it's good to have the visual representation, but you also need to be accurate in what you're saying, because I've struggled with using the measuring tool on BIM, and it gives me one measurement,
Yes.
but in reality it's off by a feet here or a half inch here or something, and you're like, I need to be more accurate, because when you give a sub the information, if it's wrong, it comes back on you, because he's going to say, you gave it to me.
I can imagine.
So accuracy is key. So
yes, absolutely. All right. So tell me, do you feel the current mobile BIM tools are field friendly, or still built for the office, and you wouldn't want to use them?
no, I believe it's a mix.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for quick details, perfect. You just want to verify that where your pipes are coming, you have room to accommodate another sub, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I would leave it right there from a mobile perspective.
If you could improve one aspect of BIM usability for field teams that are there with you on the site, what would that be?
Availability offline.
Okay, so just the models won't cut it then.
Yeah. When you're in the field, because you're building the building, sometimes you won't have immediate mobile internet access throughout the site. So having the ability to, let's say, download the model to where it's available in an offline status and you can still see what you need to, that would be the main improvement. Right now, I believe Autodesk Cloud still requires a live internet connection for you to be able to view the model.
Okay. And how would you say BIM has changed the way you coordinate between trades, especially under tight schedules?
I would say it shaves a lot of time on the schedule, because it eliminates the guesswork. It eliminates the lack of coordination, because most BIM coordinations can be done remotely ahead of time. You have a month, maybe 3 months to coordinate the different trades, the MEPs, structural, anybody, depending on the project. And that time, you're rewarded in the field where everybody has their set of drawings that they're working to, and it works out. No clashes, no obstructions, no, oh, I need to wait for you to move this light so I can install this duct, and there's still that element of coordination as you build, because it doesn't make sense to put a light fixture in when you have a 6x6 duct that's coming in, 2 weeks after. So you coordinate and you plan accordingly. Let's wait to put the fixture in, get everything else in, and then the light fixture comes in, because there's still that little nuance that the BIM probably did not pick up, and you need to move it a hair to the left or to the right. And you do have that unknown factor of human error. Let's say there was a penetration in the floor that should have been 2 foot from grid line 6, but the concrete guy did it 2 foot 5 from grid line 6. And now the duct guy, he had to modify his duct work to put it in, and so that throws off maybe the sprinkler pipe, maybe the fixture, maybe the route for the conduit. Those are things that you try to predict, you try to get ahead of, but there's still some things you can't. Case in point, the ductwork here on the second floor, we had our contractor give the four corners where the ductwork hole should be. The guy looked at the 4 corners and he's like, nah, I think it should be 6 inches this way. And that's what he did. And one of my jobs as a quality control manager is to walk through and double check these things. And when I went up there and I saw it, I said to him, the box should be right where these 4 black marks are. He's like, yeah, I know, but to me, it looks better when I move it 6 inches further. I'm like, no, no, no.
Are we updating other trades now?
Yes, actually we are. So it's that there's still,
Well, it's not happening in the BIM models. I'm guessing you're doing it offline.
I'm doing it offline. One thing we missed in or BIM was in the mechanical room,
Yes.
one of the DOS unit, that's the biggest one. The model had it like 3'10" from the elevator wall. We never looked at it. We never paid attention to it. When we were laying out the pad, I realized it's too close to the wall and the door. So we had to shift it to get 5 feet because that's the minimum by code. And that in turn ended up having us change, I think, maybe 10 pieces of duct
Nice.
that had to be reconfigured to accommodate that 2-foot shift. So,
In that BIM model. Yeah.
and we coordinated everything in that room
Yeah.
except that. So you see what I mean by you can coordinate a lot of things, but there's still some things that
Yes.
they just happen, and that's construction,
Yeah, and the ones troubling are the ones that we don't see in the model. Okay. So tell me now.
That is so true that
Yes. So you work with a lot of subcontractors on multiple projects for BIM. Do you think the subcontractors trust the BIM data, or do they still prefer their own set of drawings? I've seen that happening.
no, it depends. It depends on the company, it depends on the person. You have some of the older guys who have been in the business for 40, 50 years. They prefer their old school method. You can't show them a computer.
Yes.
They'll think it's just fancy and it's a waste of time. Just give them on paper. And then you have some of these young guys, they're like, nah, I want to see it on a model, generate a model, give it to me. I'm good. So it's company specific, individual specific as well. But at the end of the day, the data is the same.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
the 2D models are now generated from the 3D
Right.
models. So I guess it really works hand in hand. It's just based on the preference of that individual.
Oh, yeah. So having said that, how people perceive the BIM model or the drawings, and a lot of people are, picking up information from different sources. How do you ensure that everyone is building from the same source of truth?
It comes down to the initial coordination meeting and making sure everybody has the latest file that they're working from.
Yeah.
A lot of subcontractors, they will tell you, hey, you need to provide me the file. And we had that in our initial stages where I thought what the architect was giving us was the most current, but instead we had to create our own and work from that base model going forward, and the architect would just do his checks,
Yes.
making sure. So in the end, establishing roles in the job and knowing, okay, as the general contractor, I need to provide the subs with that source file. They're not gonna take the liability of assuming, okay, yeah, this is the right one. They want, hey, give me the file. And it might be a bit of a pain, but in the long run, you can see the reasoning why, And then as like on this project, as being
Yes.
a design build, changes come frequently. We're up to ASI 48 right now. So you have
Yeah.
to have a log or something where as
Oh,
the
yeah.
model gets updated, or main coordinator has to have that updated model so that they can distribute it to the different
Yes.
subcontractors. So it's an ongoing process, and it depends on the type of project, whether
Yeah.
it's a design build versus a hard bid
Yes.
as well. There's a difference in flexibility that way.
Yeah. And is it tough keeping track of all of these changes that come in?
Um, Yes and no.
Mhm.
With the tools that we are using now, Procore,
Yes.
it's more streamlined. It's more easy to keep track of. Yeah, because Procore,
Yes.
once you upload the drawing in, it supersedes everything, and you're looking at the most current drawing at all times.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
The trick is to get the subs to catch up to using the tools afforded to them.
Yeah, and multiple platforms. Not everybody is too comfortable jumping from one to the other, but yeah, everybody needs to be on the same page. Okay. So tell me, I need a fun story here. Share that one light bulb moment, that aha moment, where BIM helped prevent a major delay or clash.
I would go back
You're
to.
thinking too much. This should be fun.
There's so many. I'm just trying to pick the right one. Um, the biggest and most recent one would be the equipment pad that we had to move to get the 5 feet clearance,
Mhm.
because the model was a big component in when we were doing the layout. We saw that and we're like, nah, this is a 9 foot unit right next to a door. If we have that unit here,
Mhm.
one, nobody's
Yeah.
accessing the elevator. That's the first thing. If if there's an emergency and you're trying to get out, you're not getting out. If you're too fat, I'm sorry, you're stuck. So, utilizing the BIM
Mhm.
was a key component. We had a work session with our mechanical sub, and he was able to give us the impacts of moving, because I wanted to move it 7 feet to
Yeah.
give enough clearance so that, everything works. It's not a trip
Yeah.
hazard. It's not a claustrophobic thing. And, he gave us those two options. He's like, look, if I move it 7 feet, then it's a $20,000 impact. If I move it 5 feet, it's an $11,000 impact. So, that's when the architect comes in and you're like, hey, your drawings suck. We're not going to debate that. However,
Oh my God.
what's the minimum we need? And the architect is like, by code, 5 is the minimum that you need. I would like 7, but if I can't get it, I understand. And we're
We are
like,
not spending
say
20
less.
20
So we gave
grand.
him the minimum. And, it's having that foresight.
It definitely boils
Yes.
down to that.
And, I would like to think construction is, oh yeah, we're
Oh yeah.
here to work harmoniously and build this building out of the
Yes.
kindness of our hearts, but it comes down to money. And that's that's what it's down to. How am I going to build this and have the least impact? So I will always truly appreciate BIM because it helps you solve problems quickly, because you're visualizing it 3D right there in time. You're like, okay, this is what needs to happen.
All right. So BIM, how would you use, or have you actually used BIM for safety planning, like sequencing or hazard visualization? Like you said, you want a fat person to go past that equipment, right? Or have that door opened. No physical injury to happen to anybody. How does that work?
In my experience, it's not widely used for
Mhm.
safety. I'm not sure what companies do. However, I will say there is a experience component that comes with it. For example, lifting precast. On this project, there's a monorail system that we have to install temporarily to get the precast elements to the west end of the project. That contractor, he uses a BIM model to generate the forces and what the railing can take to set the panels and stuff like that. So I would say it's more of an engineering life safety component more than basic everyday level safety,
Right.
hazard prevention or safety planning.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. And I think we touched on this in the start of our conversation here. But how do you deal with last minute changes, last minute design changes when concrete is about to be poured?
So there's a rule of thumb. Once the concrete truck is on the job, concrete's being poured. Now, if you have to chip or drill more rebar, then that's something you deal with on the end. Because concrete, it's a timed element. Unless it's a special concrete that has an agent that delays the reaction time.
Yes.
You got 90 minutes to dump and pour. So if there's a fix that the sub or us did not catch 10 days before they were getting ready, it is what it is. You fix it after.
That's cost.
So
that's a big cost impact.
But it is, but it's a cost impact either way you take it, because once you release those trucks, if they don't dump it, it's let's say they expire their batch displacement time, then that's on the concrete supplier. But if you reject the truck because you weren't ready and you had 10 trucks parked outside, then somebody's eating that cost. So at some point you weigh the cost option. Do I pour it and then do I come back and make the repairs at a smaller cost or whatever the case is.
Right.
So it just depends.
So tell me, Orane, what's that one thing that's still missing from BIM to make it truly indispensable for everybody on the field?
Access to technology.
Okay.
Prior to or precast sub, I was not aware that you had a mobile version of the BIM model readily accessible on your phone. I thought it was AutoCAD Navisworks only either on the web-based platform or the hard drive type copy on your computer. So as more people get exposed to it in the industry, more companies pay for it because it is a cost. It's getting people trained and adapting to the mobile version, and also how to use it. So training is a big component.
Right. So how did you figure? I mean, when was the first time that you figured out that there were free accessibility to these models that you could view on a tablet maybe or your smartphones, and anybody on site or any other subcontractor who doesn't have access to a Navisworks file can use that model to view or work around stuff on site?
I would say at the beginning of this project.
Oh, okay.
Really. The type of subs that I've worked with on this project so far, their different companies are more engaged and accepting to the BIM world, so they invest the money in the tablet, in the mobile device access.
Yes.
Like my electrician, he has his drawings and access to his model on his iPad.
Right.
I thought, again, just the computer. He brought it and he's like, no, I have it on my iPad. He just doesn't know how to use it. So, that's where I say with the US is slowly adapting to it, because they, like with everything, it comes down to cost,
And then having that technology and to be able to use it are two different spectrum altogether.
Two different things, because you can have it and use it and give every wrong information there is known to man, and that will mess up everything. So that is correct.
So now tell me, after all of this BIM talk, do you think or do you see BIM eventually replacing paper completely on job sites?
No.
Do you see that happening in the near future?
Because we as construction managers we still rely on the older generation to learn from. The older generation is not getting rid of their paper. So I have a project manager who I will show him on the tablet and he will get all flustered. But if I print it on a 2x3 sheet of paper, he's like, oh yeah, a light bulb clicks off in his head and he gets it immediately. Show him on the tablet, nah, it's not happening.
Yes.
So I don't ever think it will replace it. And then there's also the technology element where let's say you're showing a group of 10 guys on the job site. A little 12-inch tablet is not going to capture everything to have a productive meeting. So you still need that paper element where you can gather a group around a drawing table and have a meaning thought out discussion. Then you have the limitations with internet access.
Yes.
So
Happens,
that
yes.
plays another part into it. I've had it multiple times where you're in the middle of the job site, you're trying to show them something, and you're there waiting for the page to load. It gets frustrating. You're like, oh, if I had the paper, hey, this is what it should be. So, maybe if there's more thought process put into setting up a job site where you have wireless access points, it might come into play.
Oh yeah.
But depending on the job site, if it's a ground up construction, you still have that waiting element to set it up as you go. If it's like a tenant build out spot where you can plug it in the middle of the room and hopefully nobody knocks it off, then it reduces the internet connectivity issue of it. But if you still want to have a subcontractor meeting to have meaningful discussions, a hard set is more valuable, more reliable. And I just don't think as a society we're there yet, where it's fully digital.
Yeah, I agree. All right. On that note, what would you say to all of those young site engineers that are just about stepping into BIM integrated projects for the first time? A piece of advice?
I would say know how to read the drawings so that when you immerse yourself in the 3D model, you can explain it both on 2D, both on the 3D model. There's a learning curve. Once you get out of college, in college you just do fun stuff. A model of an imaginary building or an existing building, and that's all good. But when you get out there, that's when the real work starts.
Yes.
So understanding what the 2D shows, it goes a long way.
So going back to old school and then coming back to the real technology then.
The new school. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That was really good advice, Orane.
Oh.
Do you have any fun stories from the site for us?
There is two 36-inch HDPE pipes that run the entire length of our job site. The same path of said two 36-inch pipes is a tie beam that connects two pile caps. Throughout our coordination or site reviews and just hustling and bustling to meet the schedule, no one really took the time to look at where these two intersect. And we're there pushing the sub like, hey, you need to get these pipes in. And he's like, yeah, no problem. He starts. And then halfway through, he's like, oh, crap. The tie beam is in the way. We're like, yes, you are right. We looked at the drawings and we're like, how did we miss this? And right now, we were busting our brains thinking, oh, we're going to have to cut the tie beam. We're going to have to reconfigure and put the pipe and install the tie beam over it. Nah, the engineers came back and they said, what's the elevations? We gave it to them. They're like, okay, put two small 10-inch pipes underneath the tie beam and just pick up the pipe on the other end. We're like, huh. So we had a superintendent lose a week's worth of sleep over it. Site company trying to scratch their brain, how did they miss it? and we have an engineer that's like, let's just do this. So, moral of the story, there's always somebody smarter to figure it out.
Yes. Absolutely. In a group of people who miss out on these minor details, there's always that smart one there.
And this is a year looking at the drawings, trying to get these pipes in. Nobody. Even the architect was like, oh, yeah, we screwed the pooch on that one.
Oh, man. That
Right.
must have been something.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is. I mean, right now we're waiting on the material to continue with that work. So
that's still on hold.
still ongoing now. So
Okay.
because of the two different materials, we're waiting on special fittings to connect
Yeah.
the ductile iron to the HDPE. So yeah, fun
So,
stuff.
Everybody is in on it. You cannot just blame one person here.
Oh no. Actually, it's funny enough, nobody is blaming anybody. They're just like, listen, we missed it. It's okay.
Because everybody missed it.
Everybody missed it. Everybody.
Everybody missed it.
So, and I've realized that in this,
I think that's the best part.
yeah, because in this business, in the olden days, it was a lot of harsh, loud, rowdy behavior.
Yes.
Now it's all professional. So you have to go into this business calm, collected,
Yes.
strategic. If you're just aggressive and shouting, you get nowhere.
And you need a lot of acceptance for taking advice and learning, because there's always this learning curve. You're getting into new
Yes.
technology and you have to be open to learning,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And no one knows it all.
Nobody.
No one.
Yep.
Somebody's always learning something, but also somebody's also teaching. So
Yes.
on all my jobs so far, there's always this one older guy who has been in the business for 30, 40 years, who have seen
Yeah.
next to everything, and they're still learning as new technology,
Yeah.
new items come into play.
Absolutely.
They're like, wow.
And it's always great to have somebody, even if it's just this one person there in this group, who knows a lot of things and you can learn from. Even if it's like old school technology, you still have something to learn.
Peter Garville is that guy.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Fun times.
So, he's an older guy, but when you listen to what he says, you realize that he's right 85% of the time.
He knows what he's talking about.
That's this business that we're in.
All right, Orane, this was fun doing this talk with you. I hope you had fun as well.
I did.
Thank you for all the insights, all the stories you had. And hopefully I will have you back soon on the channel.
Well, right now your company is our go-to BIM services, so
Yes.
I have no doubts.
All right, Orane. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll catch you soon.
All right, Nishi, thank you.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for this episode of BIM Talks. Today's conversation shows that BIM isn't just a design tool, it's a field partner. One that succeeds only when it speaks the language of the site. Big thanks to our guest Orane for keeping it real about what's working, what's not, and where the future of construction is heading. If you found this helpful, share it with your field teams, project managers, or anyone curious about how BIM really performs when the steel goes up. Until next time, keep building smarter, safer, and more connected.
It's not even loading.
Let's do this. If we don't get a good video, we'll put an audio out there. Do you have your notes? I have mine.
1 second. Hold on.